give up, baby, don't cry. Got your head up, even when the road's hard. You tuning into never give up your radio. Got your head up, even when the road is hard. Never give up. But his story about a woman with dreams from the earth with the 13 and nothing was good. Beneath the surface, it was more than just a good smile. Nobody knew about a sickle, so it took a while. I could see a tear fall slow down a black tee, shedding quiet tears in the backseat. So when she asked me, what would you do if it was you? Couldn't answer such a horrible pain to live through. I tried to trade places in the tragedy. I couldn't picture three crazy and grabbing me. For just a moment, I was trapped in the pain. Lord, come and take me for being violated. They chasing the guilty, even though it wasn't me. I can feel the grief thinking with your brain flowing. I can make the pain go low. You gotta find a way to survive, cause they win when your soul dies. Baby, please don't cry. You gotta keep your head up, even when the road is hard. Never give up, baby, don't cry. You gotta keep your head up, even when the road is hard. Never give up, baby, don't cry. You gotta keep your head up, even when the road is hard. Never give up, baby, don't cry. You got your fire, even when the road is hard. Never give up, baby, don't cry. Get it, girl. You make another change.
Yes, good afternoon and good morning, good evening, whatever the time is on your end, and welcome to another beautiful episode of the Africa Today show right here on the media of the 21st century. My name is Joby, to everyone who's here for the first time, but of course to all our amazing listeners and returning subscribers, karibuni sana. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday so far. Hope your week has been fantastic, and I'm wishing you guys a beautiful weekend ahead of you. If you get time to rest, kindly ensure you do. If you get time to exercise, ensure you do. Something productive for yourself, ensure you do. So kindly allow me to welcome to everyone who's tuning in via Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and also on our show page on TikTok. Shout to Mr. Black on Fire, shout to User 81, shout to Visionary Enter. Karibuni sana. Shout out to you, is User 801. I'd love to know who you are, but thank you so much for tuning in. You've been literally tuning in on the past few shows, but I hope you're having a good day, or rather hope you're doing amazing. And to Keith himself as well, you had popped in. I don't know what happened. I saw you right here, then you disappeared, but I hope you're having a wonderful day so far as well. But on to the conversation of the day, what we shall be focusing on is where Israel has approved the largest West Bank land seizure, and this is, or rather should be happening in the next 3 decades. And it's crazy. When I saw this, the first thing that came to, again, when you keep on discussing who Israel are, why don't they get charged for all the bad deeds they keep on doing all over the world, who funds them, such kind of question. And then you see this pop, it actually connects the dots to so much. Israel has approved the largest West Bank land seizure. I mean, who are you? You know, who gives you this authority to just approve things and go taking away lands? It is so crazy, it is so insane, but that is what we shall be focusing on as a major conversation. And well, we shall also talk about how they grabbed the land in the Middle East, because we know that the Middle East, as the way they have termed it today, it's not what it used to be. And the people who are in there today is not the original people who are supposed to be there today. And this week I've been talking about literally us reclaiming back the power, our land and resources back. And if you talk about Tunisia, Libya, Mauritania, I believe that is also another part of the Africa we should not actually forget that was actually once ours. Only if, number one, we get to understand what our history is, because sadly today, if you look at majority of us African people, we've been raised with that biblical, belief of not knowing even the people we worship. Okay. Guys, give me a minute. I'm trying to connect to the stream. I don't know what's happening. For anyone, okay, we are back. But yes, yeah, so I'm saying most of the African people were not taught the true history of how the Middle East ended up being Middle East. And this is why we see, we think when you see our presidents going there to worship the wall, it's a big thing and a big deal. So it is so crazy, but we shall be focusing onto that, of course, as a major conversation. And then I'll be sharing a video where we shall be learning a little bit of the history of Mobutu Sese Seko. And I think we taught bits of this in school, but not the true details, because when you talk about how the African leadership and education has been set up, is not to tell you the truth. It is to tell you what you should know and what they want you to believe, and that is their own narrative. So I think if I am to try remember our system of education, what they taught us about Mobutu Sese Seko, there was nothing to do with dictatorship. We were not taught all about that. We were not taught about literally so many things that happened during his rulership or during his leadership. So I'll be sharing a video which I came across, and that gives us actually takes us step by step of even how he practiced polygamy, so many different wives, even ended up marrying even sisters, and how he was viewed by the people till his end. But before we get into all that, I want to share, of course, what happened today in the 254, my very own country. Remember that today, William Ruto, the president of Kenya, for the past few, actually not just today, but for the past few weeks, it's been super hell for him, and also the other people. That is, we're talking about the cabinet secretaries, the senators, the MPs. We've seen how the Gen Zs have been literally on these people necks, and literally, let me just say not Gen Zs, but everyone who turned out to make this possible, because every number did matter. I don't care a Gen Z, a millennial, a older millennial. Every number did count and did matter actually so much. But today, of course, was expected to be coming onto Twitter, and we saw that earlier people were first, number one, in denial of him being the host. I don't know if that was corrected, but we've seen a bunch of things that he has said. No extrajudicial killings. I'll be sharing on that. He has spoken about also the current incident that happened in Rongai, where we've lost a 12-year-old child shot 8 times. He has actually dismissed these allegations and said that this happened years ago, and this is not actually in Rongai. And he has also come forth to talk about, and it is just so crazy. Well, earlier today, we saw before him attending or going to the Twitter space, he spoke about a few changes that shall be happening, where we've seen him reducing the cabinet secretary, where we've seen we're going to be having new people auditing the debt we have as a country, and also reducing so many budgets that were allocated even for all these MPs, senators, and all that. So far, a step, like Demora was saying on his show, there's a step, but with a bunch of the things he said, first, number one, not actually acknowledging the mistake that the people under his regime have done, that is the police officers killing a child, killing other people. We're not sure if, you know, if it's truly really going to make a change, or should we just let him stay? But karibu sana Keith, I see you in the building. How are you doing?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I couldn't connect. I wonder. I couldn't connect from other computers, and I don't got no camera on this one. Yeah, I kept thinking. I kept thinking you was messed up. My internet's jacked up because I couldn't get no picture. So now I got you. So
Okay.
that's why it kept going funny. Because I couldn't get in there. But I'm good. How are you, Joey?
I'm fine. I tried calling you earlier. You. It seems like you were asleep.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, now that popped. I couldn't get anything. Okay. Okay. Bow, like magic.
Wow. Jesus came like a thief.
I know. And fuck him up for coming in the house like a thief. Say, what the hell you doing up in here?
Nice to see you home, by the way. It's been a minute since we did a show when you're home.
I know. I know.
It's nice to see you.
I was home yesterday. Yesterday, I didn't open my mouth about doing no show yesterday because I would have been messed up.
I'm glad it's only me who knew that, so you're lucky.
That's right.
Yeah, but we're talking about Ruto and the speeches he made today. We've seen a couple of changes that he has made by withdrawing a few things. So I'm going to just share a few brief of this speech. Demore did share on his show, but I don't want to share much of it. So you can catch up on.
I was asleep on the show. You guys check out the Twitter space. He did.
Yeah, we did. So many people were there. We had like 4 point something million people listening. Yeah, the people were so many. So of course we could just listen.
The ones that came up were probably fake. I don't know if any real people got up in there because they had a lot of governors and office holders making fake accounts.
No, because I remember before this happened, we had the people have been having this conversation from the Twitter space from the beginning. They said that they do not want and will not join Ruto's conversation if he's the one hosting. Yeah. So I believe everything was actually changed because I did, and I'll share some of the videos I've seen. Okay. Most of the people up there will include the people who were abducted, and they went straight to him asking him like, yo, we were abducted, the police officers treated me like this and this and this, and you have to claim there's no this extrajudicial killings, kidnappings. Why did I experience this? These people came, not only kidnapped me, but stole even things from my house, you know? So he was actually held, he's been held, Ruto looks really, really stressed. So let me share this very quickly.
Sure.
Yes. Providing for the operations of the office of the First Lady, the spouse of the Deputy President.
So he has reducted the amount that he had allocated for his wife and the Deputy President's wife.
And the Prime Cabinet Secretary will be removed. Similarly, budget lines providing for the operations of the office of the First Lady, the spouse of the Deputy President, and the Prime Cabinet.
Okay, so that one is it. Let me show this.
To the many others who are injured and recuperating, I wish these measures will be followed by changes in government that I will be making shortly. We are determined to carry out this and other interventions to improve the quality, efficiency, and transparency in serving the people of Kenya and ensure that citizens receive maximum value for their resources from a public sector that prioritizes their welfare. I believe these changes will set out our country on a trajectory towards economic transformation, enabling us to achieve the strategic objectives of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and deliver our commitment to radically enhance opportunities for all Kenyans and transform our country. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless.
Okay, God bless Kenya. So yeah, he made a few changes, like you said, reduced the cabinet secretaries, reduced the budget of adding more cars for the members of parliament, and so many people, so many things, literally. So the more is saying that actually this is something very positive to see happening, and the influence that Kenya is making all over Africa. We've seen Nigeria today. I'm so surprised, being honest. Shout out to Nigerians. I'm so sorry, but this is the one among the least countries I expected to respond to what is happening, But I'm so happy to see the awakening happening at once all over Africa. I'm so happy to see that we are now understanding that we've been having old people are not doing anything but just pocketing and financing themselves, financing their families, their businesses, stealing from you, and you never ever benefiting. But shout out to Sinovia, karibu sana. Hope you're doing amazing. Yeah, that is President William Ruto there, and these speeches. And during the Twitter space, one of the things also he said, like I said, he did dismiss the conversation about the child who was killed, and this is what he had to say.
Let me go to the situation which was which happened in Rongai, where we lost a young Kenyan. The situation in Githurai was that a criminal in Rongai, a criminal assaulted the police, took over the firearm of the police, and shot. And unfortunately, that bullet went and killed a young Kenyan.
So he's a liar, number one. Ruto is a liar, always. And always Ruto will always be a liar. So we are in Rongai, family. Our studio is located in Rongai, that is Kajiado County. And we were here ourselves, watching everything through the window. Actually, I remember we went home very early that day. We went to borrow to tell Keith we're gonna go home early because of the live bullets that were all over, and no one was actually sure about their safety. As a common wananchi, if I am a peaceful demonstrator, I'm only gonna get pissed off if you start throwing tear gas at me and I'm demonstrating peacefully, right? I'm not gonna get provoked if you're not trying to provoke me. And the reaction of the citizens, actually, and if you watch, and shout out to Sinovia what she's saying, if it were not for social media, because social media has all the videos, people are recording every incident, every second when it was happening. These police officers went provoking the youths, showing them how they have power with the bullets and the tear gas. And one of the police officers, actually, that was after the police officer had shot the kid, the group of people managed to capture him. And unfortunately, yes, he was shot using his own gun. I'm not sure if the gun has been found. That is the time we had a curfew, so I believe right now the gun should have been found, because there's a time, that was last week, they had put a curfew here. So he's lying. Ruto, you are a liar all the time. And all the time, Ruto, you are a liar.
And unfortunately, again, and we have to be honest with one another, it was said that this young Kenyan was pumped with 8 bullets. That is also not true.
Wow.
in Rongai.
Wow.
True.
Just wow. That is a whole president in denial. I mean, the fact that why can't you just accept your mistakes, own your mistakes? I always feel like these African puppets can escape with everything only if they own their mistakes. Imagine, it is very simple. If only you own your mistake and say, like, hey, I hold myself accountable for 1, 2, 3 things that have happened in the country. Yes, I have mismanaged this and this and this, appointed people according to my own favorism, I only needed people who are going to do things according. Just own your mistakes. I don't feel like, with the African people's love that they have, I believe we can let that go. they can actually easily let that go. The fact that you're just coming out true. But Sinova says, if it were not for social media, this puppet and the colonizer would have gotten away with the murder like they have in the past. Exactly. And that is what is actually I want to get supper just this evening, and I'm at the butcher. I don't want to talk because I'm like, if I start talking, I'm gonna be stuck here forever. Everyone is just talking about Ruto. Everyone is like how this guy looks stressed, how the Gen Zs are giving him pressure, and how he's seeing something he's never seen. That is the debate everywhere. And it is true. Because they think he thought we were in the era of when he was getting into politics, when we had no smartphones. All we could do is go to the church, wait for the mainstream media bring us conversations that are lies, only picked from their own narrative. We wake up again, we believe that, the government's selling us hope, we should keep on waiting, and then add religion, keep on hoping, pray about it, hope about it. No actions ever done, no actions ever taken. You just keep on hoping. And Africans are tired of hoping. And also, Sister says this man is a coward and heartless. He is, man. That's one thing I was saying today, asking someone, like, why is it that people do not get to question mistakes before they go far? Because I do believe we had a chance of asking and questioning Ruto's position when he was being appointed as a president. But none of us did. None of us did. Everyone was looking at this at a tribalistic angle of all the Kalenjins finally have taken over. I remember sharing a video of this Kalenjin woman. I wonder what she is right now. I'd really love to find out on TikTok. I remember sharing this video of this Kalenjin woman. She was like, for the longest time, people have thought Kalenjins are on the bottom, will never make it. Now we are the, Now the Kalenjins are also on the same group as Kenya, the rest of the Kenyans. It's nothing to do with your tribe. Totally nothing to do with your tribe.
Exactly.
It is insane. It is insane. Waiting on Jesus, I tell you, Sinovia, it is super, super crazy. But as we get to move on, like I said, I had a video to share, and this is coming from DRC Congo, the history of Mobutu Sese Seko. And I did say at the beginning of the show that in Africa, if you try to look at our system of education, the way it is set up, when it comes to learning about other African countries, you're given only bits, hints about it, just because either this country has a relationship similar to your country. Majority of the times is because either we are colonized by the same master. That's why we're going to get hints of other countries, our relation, our history relation, but nothing much deeper of the political control, how the people live. Do we have resources equally, or are we all poor? Do we all believe, like such kind of things? So I remember me studying about Mobutu Sese Seko in school. We were just taught about him being, of course, a ruler of DRC Congo. We're not taught about him being a dictator. Okay, we're not being taught about him being actually a puppet of the white people. You're not taught about that. None of that.
Okay.
Welcome back.
I was doing something, Joe. I'm trying to figure some things out. I don't know how to set trying to see on this other computer, did it work? It showed it worked. See, showed I was in there live with you with the video right there. Showed I was live with you right there. Okay. And I'm trying to, I don't remember how to set the radio station up. Shit. So I need it sometimes when my other computer goes down. So.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll do that. I'll try to do that before I sleep. Try remember the whole thing and send you screenshots.
All right, Joby. It's cool.
Yeah. So as we get to move on, let me share this video. Like I'm saying, we're not being taught more about our fellow African people or countries and their leadership. And perfect example on Kenyatta. Jomo Kenyatta. We were told Jomo Kenyatta was a
remember, if you know anything about the Congo, Mobutu was put in there as a puppet. He helped kill Lumumba. And also, You go back and look, the IMF and World Bank was put directly in his administration. They ran the country, not him. They ran the country from inside the country, Joby. That's how crooked. So imagine you got fake parliament, fake cabinet members, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your cabinet members in your administration.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the IMF was in the cabinet of the Congo. They were the ones running the damn country. IMF people were inside his cabinet. He didn't do shit, but just walk around and do stupid shit. I'm the president. I'm the king. All that. They were literally in the government, controlling all of it. Make all the wealth go to them. They were literally in his cabinet, Joby. Literally, not that they installed puppets. They were the ones there.
And they didn't do anything about it.
They're the ones put him in power. What is he gonna do about it?
That was after the assassination of Patrice Lumumba, right?
Yeah. Yes. But you can look up that. Look up. Say. Let me see. Let me see if I can be sure. Let's see. The IMF was literally installed into Mobutu's administration. Not Mobutu's. No. Let me see his IMF. Into.
Hi, Kay Williams. Karibu sana. I see you. Hope you're doing amazing. Enjoy your lunch. And thank you so much for tuning in. I see you saying, I got my paycheck now showing up. Come on. I need money. I need more money. Shout out to Jarok as well. Karibu sana. Hope you're doing great. And Sister Sinovia, I think I'd said hi to you too. And Kay Williams says, all these black leaders worldwide are sellouts all over. All over. And that is the fact that should be underlined. All these black leaders worldwide, they are sellouts. None of them are set here actually to free us. None of them are set up here to work for us. And it's sad that if that is the mentality, I believe no one has that mentality today, especially in America. In Africa, at least we're waking up, Yeah, in America, you'd be crazy to think that literally the black representatives are there to work for you.
No. Yeah, you guys just did Congo's infamous, despot, despot documentary, but literally the IMF would have once calling the shots. He's just a figure puppeted because he was a moron. I mean, literally, they're all morons, but literally they made they set up economic policy in the Congo from right there in the Congo. It wasn't like they were the puppets outside pulling the strings. They were literally in the government, and so they were passing all these fucked up policies to keep the Africans impoverished in the Congo, no development, for all the money to be extracted out of the Congo to go to the J's. So that's what you see happen inside the Congo under Mobutu. And the funny part about it is there was another faction because the whole thing it was trying to break the Congo up. That's what they're doing right now in Sudan. They want to break it. They don't care. They want to break the Sudan up. See, when you break it up in smaller countries, it's easy to steal. You put this puppet in, name it 5 different names, and this puppet will do that. All these puppets will do your bidding. It's not one unified. The Africans have learned through unification is your power. That's why they want to keep breaking your countries up. So they're doing right now in the Sudan because it's wealthy. So you got the Americans and the fucking no good white Arab funding the rebels. Causing the destruction in the Sudan. So that was one of the countries that General Wesley Clark told you they was going to come and get. Told you that 20 years ago. Said, man, why are we going to take these countries? Said, we just are, General. We're going to go and take them over. The Sudan, Syria. Told you who owns all Syria's oil now. The Americans stole it all, Joby. They got control of that. really the Jays. There's those Canadian Americans say the Jays who run this country. So they got Iraq. They told them they were going to Iraq, Afghanistan, Sudan, Somalia, Syria, Libya, who they killed Gaddafi as. No. So, cause all this confusion and chaos so they can steal. So it's done. So, funny part about it was that the other Africans wanted to throw Mobutu over so bad because he was destroying their economies around the Congo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you had Kagame and Museveni, no good ass, devised a plan to overthrow Mobutu. So we're gonna
What? These people are this old?
yeah, they old. I told you, yeah, they old. Y'all think Museveni is damn near 70. How old you think Kagame is? Old as shit. So they devised a plan back in 90. You see how Mobutu was overthrown in 98. You see he was overthrown. And you see it's by Kagame and Museveni. And so they wanted to take over the country. And the guy they put in, they said, nah, I'm letting you motherfuckers take over the country. I'm not allowing that. So they got mad and said they're going to, so Museveni and Kagame were going back in to overthrow him. He went to the next country over, Angola. He said, hey, man, they're trying to overthrow me, man. He said, so Angola still at that time still had power. Still really the most powerful country in Africa. Sadly enough, they broke them down. The Europeans always go back in, mess the Africans' mind up and destroy shit. So that time, Angola still was powerful from beating South Africa. And so Congo goes next door to Angola because they're really the same people. Because that was all the Congo Empire. So he said, hey, man, this Museveni and Kagame want to overthrow me. He said, what? So Angola said, we're not going to act by ourselves. We're going to go down to Mugabe in Zimbabwe. So they tell them, listen here, we're going to go up and kill Kagame and Museveni. We're going to kill them. Because they proved it was true. So Angola was the power of Africa. So they're going to go kill them. So we're going to go and we're going to kill. And they're back, by the way. At that time, Angola was anti-West. They were fighting the white people in South Africa. Mm-hmm. Anti-West. And they got rid of the Christianity at that time. Christianity was outlawed in Angola. They had to go. That was outlawed then. Now, years later, they put it right. The white man came in, put it right back in, put their puppets. But at that time, Angola had outlawed Christianity. Shit had to go. It's outlawed. That's the only African country that outlawed that white man's Christianity. It's outlawed. And so they didn't want to act unilaterally by themselves and destabilize the whole region. So they went to Zimbabwe, to Mugabe, and down to South Africa. I think Nelson Mandela was still in power at that time, with fake power. They said, listen here, you got Kagame and Museveni trying to overthrow Congo for the Europeans again. So we're going to go and kill them. We're going to go to kill them. We're going to kill both these niggas. And so Mugabe's like, hold on, wait. That's going to cause a war throughout Africa. They got Europe, because they already know they're European puppets. And they're going to make a divide. They're going to say, well, you know what? Congo is being aggressive. Congo's trying to invade Rwanda and Museveni and Uganda, because they were going to take it over. There's no way Rwanda and Uganda was going to ever be able to beat Angola. Now they said it. We're going to go kill them. I don't know if they're going to take over the country. They might have tried to set up their own fake elections, but Museveni and Kagame, they said they're going to kill them. That was on the chopping block. So, but they went to down to old boy in Zimbabwe. What's his name? Robert Mugabe.
Mugabe.
Yeah. So they go to Mugabe. They go to puppet ass Nelson Mandela. They said, well, don't do that. Don't do that. He said, shit. Congo are our people. That's our ancestor people. We're not letting these motherfuckers come in overthrow the Congo. We're not going to allow that. We the ones freed you in South Africa. We're not going to allow these usurpers to come and overthrow our people in the Congo. We're not going to allow that. Because remember, they also the same tribal people as the people of the Congo. Angola and Congo are the same tribes, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow these usurpers to come in and and take over the Congo. We're not going to allow that. So, okay, so they said, okay, let's go have a meeting with Kagame and Museveni. And so they never tear these things. So the Angolan army marched through the Congo up to Rwanda and Uganda. They said, hey, we need this meeting. And guess who was gone? They couldn't find Museveni or Kagame in their countries. Couldn't find their ass. They had fled because they knew they couldn't beat Angola. They fled the country. They were gone. They weren't even there. It was back in 98. They had left because Angola meant to kill them. Don't say, we're going to kill them. There ain't going to be no bunch of talking. Ain't going to be no bunch of this talking like Africans love to do talking now. Because they trying to take over the Congo. We're not going to allow it. We're not going to let that happen. So at that time, the white man knew Angola had got too powerful. They said, well, we got to figure out how to start breaking Angola down and destroy this shit because they're going against the plans we want to do in Africa. So the last 25 years, they've been breaking down Angola, putting in corrupt, everybody seen them corrupt puppets they've been putting in Angola. Like that lady. What's that lady name? She's the richest lady in Africa, come out of Angola, stealing the oil. She lives in Portugal or Europe somewhere. What's her name? You guys can look at what's the richest lady in Africa's name, Joby. Look it up. Let me see. What's the lady's name? DeSantos, something DeSantos. But they had to break Angola's military might down, which they did, so it couldn't be a threat to their plans. DeSantos, what her name? Something DeSantos.
Flo. The richest woman in? Can you phrase that again?
What's the richest woman in Africa? Well, she might not be now because a lot of money's been taken. Just say the richest woman in Angola. She used to be the richest woman in Africa.
Yeah, Isabella dos Santos.
Santos, yeah. So her family, Africans never learned that white people are not going to stop. If you gain power, they're going to come in and destabilize. They will come back into your countries and slowly try to take it back over. And that's what they did with Angola. They destroyed Angola's power over the last 25 years and made it ineffective and made it a puppet regime, brought back in Christianity, brought that shit back in, and destroyed Angola as a power. So that's what they do. So that's why right now they're trying to break up the Sudan. They're the ones behind Sudan. Mm-hmm. They're trying to break up they've been trying to break up the Congo into 5 different countries so they can easily steal from it. Mm-hmm. So that's been the whole objective of Kagame and Museveni being down there causing destabilization and killing innocent people to try to break up the Congo and make 5 different countries out of it. They've already broken it up 1 time, really 3 times. Angola's the Congo. Really 4. You got 4 countries that are really the Congo.
Times.
Yeah, because you got the Central African Republic, you got the Republic of the Congo, and then the regular DRC. So it's already been broken up, actually, right, Joey, 4 times. Yeah. It's been broken up 4 times because Angola was actually the Congo. So It's been broken up 4 times, but they want to break up the part that's not broken up 5 more times. They want to break it up into 5 more states. So that's what you see happen also in Sudan. They want to break it up. For them, it benefits them to break it up. That's what all the war is happening in Sudan right now because the no good Arabs are helping Americans to try to break it up to cause the destabilization for the criminal stealing of the resources of the country. That's why Africa's always destabilized because of the money, the resources. And the things always try to break countries up, keep them dysfunctional and all fucked up so they can steal. That's what's happening in the Congo. That's why it's never stabilized because it's wealthy. Put people in, people running around, crazy, shooting people. So they can steal. They're stealing all the resources out of there, not paying a dime. Just stealing billions of dollars of resources out there and not paying a dime. And so the thing now use Kenya. Like I told in the Airtime show, Kenya was going to be their policeman. That's why they put them in Haiti, but they were going to put a policeman in Africa. That's why they had Kenya join NATO. The fuck is an African country doing? And then they're going to start giving Kenya real weapons, not that bullshit they give Africans. They're going to give them the real shit, the real weapons. because they were going to be used as invading forces to go around Africa to destabilize. That's why the UN is coming to Kenya. That's why the UN was being put there. But the youth are fucking up all those plans now. Plan was to use Kenya to recolonize the rest of Africa. They were going to give them a real military, real weapons, not that bullshit they got today, a real military armament. They're going to make Kenya real military and put NATO there to implement policies, because NATO was really going to, the UN was really going to run Kenya. These puppets weren't going to run shit. The UN was going to dictate the laws of Kenya. That's what all this economic shit was about right now. The UN, IMF, same people on the IMF created the UN, created the World Bank. So Kenya was going to be the jump off of all jump offs. But unfortunately, the youth have changed all that. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, fucked up.
It's an energy shift, like you've been saying for the longest time. I thought about that when I was cooking. I'm like, God damn, for real, this is an energy shift, because Africans have cried, died, blood has been shed because of these people. And energy-wise, also, when you look at it religiously, we've been focusing, and politically, literally in every aspect, we've been focusing all our energy on the wrong people, thinking they are more superior and better than us, But now everything is changing, where we're taking back our power. Like, nah, I recognize who I am as a melanin. I don't need to bleach. I don't need to do this. I understand what politics is all about. It's supposed to serve me. The religion is all a lie. Like, Africa is truly reclaiming back power from all corners. But let me share this video as we get to move on, as we pick up the lies, the truth, and everything as we get to move on.
The man known to history as Joseph Désiré Mobutu was born on the 14th of October 1930 in Lisala, a city situated on the banks of the River Congo. His mother was Marie-Madeleine Yemo and would later be known as Mama Yemo. As a young woman already raising 2 children from a previous relationship, she was asked by her aunt, who was in a childless marriage with a local village chieftain, to join her husband's harem in accordance with a local tradition that gave the man the right to bring in a more fertile replacement. Unlike her barren relative, Yemo gave birth to twins, but when the newborns died after a short while, she suspected her aunt of witchcraft and fled to Lisala. There she met Alberic Gebemane, a cook working for a Belgian judge with whom she fell in love, marrying him 2 months before Mobutu was born. Joseph would later become known as Mobutu Sese Seko Kuku Ungubendu Wazabanga, which translates to...
Pause it. One of the most corrupt, see, 97. See, I told you, they overthrew his ass in 97. They overthrew his ass. Okay? And the Congo was going to get rid of his ass. Angola was going to get rid of his ass too, because they had got power. Angola was going to get rid of his ass. So this one of the most corrupt, evil motherfucking psychopaths the white man's ever put in power. And of course, when he was in power, he was what? The richest man in Africa. This moron here never built shit, was an idiot, was a goddamn dummy, was the richest man in Africa. This moron here, because he had control of the Congo. Most of the resources went to everybody else. But this idiot here was the richest man in Africa. This idiot here, this corrupt. This nigga was wicked, evil, personified. So they had no problem with Kagame and them coming to overthrow him. It's just that Angola said, okay, you can overthrow him, but you're not going to take over the country. We're not going to allow that. And this evil, wicked nigga do got to go. He do got to go, but we're not going to allow you and Kagame to take claim of the Congo. That's not happening. So, see, he was disposed in 97. They finally overthrew this corrupt ass nigga. He was in power for like 30 years. This corrupt bastard here, like damn near 40 years. Was it 62? He killed Lumumba, 60, whatever it was. He been on power almost 40 years. Wicked, evil, didn't do this constant theft. White man stealing everything out the Congo. But it made this idiot, he was the richest man in Africa. All the years, he was the richest man. Didn't build shit, didn't create shit,
It's only if you are a puppet that they give you all those titles that you are the richest man in Africa, or
But he
in
was
this
the
country.
richest man because they gave him the money of the Congo.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It only falls, or the narrative will be viewed like that. You're the richest person because that's a narrative. What have you done? What have you done?
Nothing.
There's nothing you've done. Where can we see what have you? There's nothing you've done but just stealing resources and just walking and taking flights, literally. And
Yeah.
most of that is what we can see with most of these African puppets. And we go back to just Kagame himself. We checked recently his net worth. And you ask yourself, how do they get to approximate all these net worths? How do they know? Who knows? Who gets to? What have they done? So
they know how much money he's worth. They're the one giving it to them. They know how much money Kagame is worth. How much their money is in their bank accounts. They know how much money. You think they don't know how much money Uhuru and them worth, and the monies are offshore in their bank accounts. They the ones made the Uhuru family rich. They know their puppets how much they're worth. They the ones gave them the money.
To the all-powerful warrior who goes from conquest to conquest, leaving fire in his wake. He was part of the Ungabandi tribe, a small ethnic group which lived in one of the least accessible areas of Africa, a subsidiary branch of the River Congo called Ubangi that now straddles the border between the Democratic Republic of Congo and the Central African Republic. At the time of his birth in pre-independence Congo, the Ungabandi were seen as primitive and backwards by city dwellers, a stereotype that so embarrassed Mobutu he would dedicate much of his energy to changing it. Over the course
it's always the sorry to use this word, but it's always the Negroes coming from poverty, somehow.
That's what they are. That's right, because they already have a lesser thing of themselves, a white supremacy. So Irton got that right when she was saying that. That's true. They get because they have a inferiority complex. Go ahead.
Okay, goddamn. What did I do? All right, there we go.
Of his life, Mobutu had 2 wives and several mistresses. In 1955, as an officer in the colonial force publique, he married his first wife, Marie Antoinette Gabia Tibwa Gogbe Yetene, who bore him 9 children before her death from heart failure in 1977. And then in 1980, he wed a former mistress, Bobby Ladawa, who gave birth to 4 of his children. During these marriages, Mobutu was unfaithful, complicating his marriage by taking his wife's identical twin sister, Kosia Ladawa, as a lover and fathering 3 children with her. This was such an open secret that during his public appearances, many...
What? Did you say he married his daughter? What? Hold on, go back. What is that?
He married his wife's sisters. Okay, let me go back. Yeah. It's like literally almost his children.
Ladawa, 7. And then in 1980, he wed a former mistress, Bobby Ladawa, who gave birth to 4 of his children.
Okay.
During these marriages, Mobutu was unfaithful, complicating his marriage by taking his wife's identical twin sister.
His wife's twin identical sister. Which is still wrong.
Yeah, but at least it's not incest. I thought it was some incest shit going on. But goddamn. Go ahead.
Kosia Ladawa as a lover and fathering 3 children with her. This was such an open secret that during his public appearances, many Congolese couldn't tell whether it was Bobby or Kosia on his arm, giving rise to the belief that the polygamous arrangement was a good luck charm designed to ward off his first wife's angry spirit. Aside from Kosia, Mobutu took several women married to high-ranking officials in his administration as paramours, producing with them an unknown number of offspring.
How many kids this motherfucker had?
In appearance, Joseph Mobutu was...
And the funny part about it, when he's also... See, they go President Reagan. The thing is that President Reagan would always call this nigga a clown behind his back. They let him sit there and say, this idiot right here, we're stealing everything we can out the Congo. This racist ass cracker right here, Reagan, would talk crazy. You get the letters talking about this moron and says, we got this moron in the Congo. They barely wear shoes over there. This idiot be robbing blind. We let him come and make him like every time the big man. We make him feel a little good, like he's somebody. He's a nobody. There's no respect. But that's how these dumb, and this is where Reagan's come. These dumb niggas think there's somebody when we invite them to the White House, sit them down, and they're nothing more than our puppets. He knows, we control his whole goddamn economy. Then he wants to sit up and talk. We let him talk certain things. We said, no, listen, shut the fuck up. World politics, you be quiet. As a child, shut up.
I really feel bad, being honest, as an African woman, to see the disgrace our men are really, taken and put on themselves, because it's so you can change things. Again, it's gonna take lives before we get to really claim power.
You really can't call these guys men, Joe. They were put there because they were psychopathic failures. See, they brain type like they do in America. They do brain typing on these cats. So that's why you get a Joe and a motherfucker like this and these other people like Kagame and Museveni. Man, he's a Museveni before Museveni, Joby. That's the same shit. That's Museveni right there.
I agree, Keith, but it's so sad because we've spoken about them as representatives. They are the reason why the rest of the African people are viewed the same. Just because we have one dummy person representing you, the rest of the majority, it seems like the rest of you also look like that.
But that's true because but that would be true too because these puppets kept Africa ignorant. Most Africans were ignorant, Joby. That's the fact. Most Africans were ignorant. They don't know what the hell's going on. They're simple-minded and look at the football game. Yeah, all that stupid shit. You got a child mind. You worry about football games instead of politics, what actually runs your world, your damn day, your life. I can put the shiny object, you looking at a football game while you're in poverty, you're a moron. Gives a fuck about football. I can't feed myself, and I'm living in a damn shack. Fuck a football. You didn't think that? Get a football game. Ooh. Look, you see like Cameron's them talking about football shit? That's moronic shit. You're an idiot. You're a child in the head. Cares. Those are called distractions. That's why they're there. They're called bread and circuses to keep the masses dumbed down. That's why sports exist. That's what the masses. You're a dummy.
Entertainment.
Exactly, Joby. Entertainment.
Was a tall man who barked orders with a distinctive gravelly voice, and on rare occasions.
He was a complete racist. Exactly right, Jibber Jab. The shit he used to say about this motherfucker here. And then also Museveni, because at that moment, Museveni just came into power and was there too. Joby don't remember those videos that he shared with Museveni being with Reagan too. And Reagan looked at Museveni with such contempt. You know the way white people look at black people like, this fucking moron here. I gotta pretend I'm his friend because he's our puppet. And that's when Museveni first came into power in Uganda. And Museveni had said something, I did better than you. He's talking about Idi Amin. I helped you get out Idi Amin. And Reagan was like, you fucking dumbass nigga. I helped you get out Idi Amin. Museveni's like a grown-ass child. Like, what? And this race, we all know this cracker was so racist here. But he looked at this Museveni with so much contempt and disdain. Said, did I ask you? Yeah, I know he was thinking, did I ask you, you retarded nigga? You're here to be the puppet. Shut the fuck up. So much disdain. It's crazy. That disdain from Reagan, from this racist ass bastard, was crazy. Like he's drinking his thing, like this moron think he's part of the club. Like I'm the big man part of the club. No, nigga, you're a puppet. Go ahead, Joby.
Occasions when he appeared
With the big boys, huh?
in public, he was always seen wearing his signature leopard skin hat and Buddy Holly glasses and wielding an intricately carved cane. Referred to by European observers as the mild-mannered
straight up devil.
Colonel.
Reagan tore the black American community apart with his racism. He was unapologetically racist. Unapologetically, you niggas. Unapologetic with that shit. So, he's straight up evil devil. I hope he is rotting in hell. There ain't no hell. I wish he was too if it was a hell. He ain't in hell because that doesn't exist. It's made up. But that's a no good, wicked, racist, openly racist cracker. And all these puppets, none of these puppets knew he's racist. They didn't care because most of them are morons. Go ahead, Joe.
Referred to by European observers as the mild-mannered colonel, he was a leader of exceptional charisma, characteristics he took advantage of to manipulate those around him.
Understand, this is white propaganda. He was no damn, he wasn't charismatic. He was their puppet. When Lumumba came into power, he said, Africa, this part is going to be used, our resources are going to be used for African people. We're going to evolve the Congo into this is the richest part of the world. We're going to be super rich. He said, we're going to keep that money for African people. Of course, him being a moron, and they came to him, hey, we want you to kill him. Help kill him. We're going to make you the big man. Yeah, I'm going to be the big man. Yay. See, they're all childlike in the fucking head. I'm going to be the big man. Yeah, we're going to let you drive a couple cars, nigga. You never been in a car. You don't make them. They're going to give you a big car and let you be president. You like that? You like that, boy? Yes, I want to be the president. Ain't nobody ever liked no fucking Mobutu, so he wasn't charismatic. He was never loved in the Congo. They hated his ass. See, this is white propaganda. They hated his ass. Just like Museveni's hated in fucking Uganda. The people hate his ass. People didn't like no fucking Mobutu. They loved Lumumba, and they knew he was behind killing them. They never liked his ass. He was stalled by white people, kept in power by white people. Mm-hmm. So this documentary is already crazy. He was charismatic. What? He was a moron. When you got a charismatic moron? Go ahead, Joe.
The charm, he was a calculating social chameleon, able to personally tailor his temperament, disposition, and mannerisms to the individual or situation at hand if it gave him a better chance of getting what he wanted. Like a trained actor, he could be furious one moment and then several minutes later change completely if he thought it was the right thing to do. Combined with his incredible memory, which enabled him to recall the name, profession, and tribal affiliation of anyone he had ever met, however brief the encounter, Mobutu's magnetism was a force of nature that allowed him unparalleled political power. Tempered with his assertive personality was a sardonic sense of humor that only sharpened as he aged. He was deeply narcissistic, and at the
maybe it's tribal people being happy. Most of the country couldn't stand his ass. So I always understand white people propaganda. Like Lumumba, they loved and they wanted him as president. So they know this man killed him, and they love him too. They tried forever to get this motherfucker out of office, but the white people kept stopping their coups because he was beneficial to them. They tried forever to get his ass out of power. And it wasn't until 97 until they finally got enough, that was because of Angola, got enough power to get rid of his ass. Nobody was loving him. Go ahead, Joby. And you notice, and under his rule, you didn't have all this destabilization in the Congo. You know why? Because the Europeans were freely stealing. He was allowing all the debt to go on. Wasn't nobody being displaced because he allowed all that theft and shit to go on. It was thieving everywhere. Flights going in and out of the Congo, just stealing. He didn't give a shit. As long as I get my little bitty cut, my 2%, steal all you want. People all in poverty and shit. He don't give a fuck. That's why it wasn't disabled under his rule, because he was their man, the puppet.
Mm-hmm. Let me pull this down. Let's try to share this one. More explained better. So because I see it on that one.
You change your clothes, Joby.
Yes. This so you're very observant.
On Saturday,
I see you had like a beige dress on. You got like a whole brown dress or something on. You change your clothes or something?
It's cold, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll be back on tonight, guys. We're doing American stuff tonight. Do Africa stuff right now. We're gonna go deep into this election, Joe Biden, all that shit tonight.
Hi, Mzales. Karibu sana.
Back on
Kabila's
tonight.
forces seized power from Mobutu Sese Seko, marking the collapse of Zaire, the 32-year-old state which had been created by Mobutu out of the chaos of the original
Zaire,
Congo.
a damn French name. So they changed the name back to the Congo, what it was. This moron being a puppet, he made it a French name, Zaire. He took it, they named it Zaire after the French. It's a French name. So when they threw his ass out of power, they replaced it with the Congo again. At least took it back to an African name.
had been sustained with the help at different periods of Mobutu's Western allies, namely Belgium, the United States, and France.
He was pepped up by the
Mobutu's departure as the leader of Zaire was one of the most significant events to shape post-colonial Africa, and various analysts say that Mobutu created his own downfall with a mixture of extreme greed and short-sightedness.
Yeah, greed. Oh,
Mobutu was unable
I thought they loved him. He said the people loved him in the last one. White man, they loved him. His greed, we thought he was the richest man in Africa. His greed and everybody starving, stomachs touching their backbone, they would wait no overthrow this no good bastard. So it was because Angola and then, Kagame all came in and said, we got to overthrow this motherfucker here. He's unstabilized our own countries. But go ahead.
to adjust to the changing reality of the post-Cold War era and regional politics. He had trouble accepting that the United States would shift its support from opponents of communism to advocates for democracy. Most importantly, Mobutu also miscalculated in thinking he could gain from supporting Hutu militiamen against Tutsi rulers in neighboring Rwanda. This move backfired and contributed to his eventual demise. Born Joseph Mobutu in Lisala in the extreme north.
Remember Rwanda, Kagame, and fucking Museveni are Tutsis. They're not Bantus. They're not Hutus. They're Bantus. And so at that time, the CIA was backing the fucking Tutsis against the Bantu, which were the Hutus in Uganda and Rwanda and Burundi. Bantu power was too big in Kenya. They wanted to take over Kenya too, but they had their puppet already in there. Yeah, Joe, but shit gets real. Go ahead.
West of the then Belgian Congo, on 14 October 1930, Mobutu went on to become a definitive figure in the Congo's post-colonial history. Like a number of first-generation African leaders, the army made Mobutu. After he enlisted in 1949, the army provided him with a means by which he could later dominate his fellow citizens. Mobutu also grew to know many of the leading Congolese politicians during the late 1950s, including Patrice Lumumba, the first Prime Minister of the Congo. In fact, Mobutu joined Lumumba's Movement National Congolese Party, the MNC. Mobutu's meteoric rise to power came during the Congo crisis of 1960 to 1964. When the Congo became independent on June 30, 1960, the coalition government of President Joseph Kasavubu and Prime Minister Patrice Lumumba appointed Mobutu the Secretary of State for National Defense.
Pause it. Why are they so corrupt? Irritan hit on it. Don't even know she probably been hit on it. Okay. Imagine your whole life, just like us. Imagine your whole life you're caught in poverty, in ignorance, and white supremacy. You told you ain't shit. You ain't no good. You don't have nothing. But now you've been leading. Now you get to have all this shit, big cars and nice homes and everything. Like, oh shit, oh, I'm getting everything. Oh shit. So them, like Joby said, them come from poverty. Most Africans come from poverty because everything was taken away from them through colonialism. Most Africans come from poverty. Not now. You got some few families now that have been established after the independence. But during independence, all Africans were poor. Wasn't no rich family type shit. It didn't exist. Wasn't like no hierarchy of Africans like you got today. These are ones that are now the puppets of Africa. So being poor, your mindset is like, oh, I'm gonna get a car. Oh, black people black people still crazy about cars. Like it's me. Oh, get a car, big car, and I get a house, oh, a big nice house. Oh. So, and the African man being the most easily corrupt than the woman, sadly, never be keeping 100. Women are corruptible, but not as bad as men. Men are weaker with corruption. They're just weak. So it's easier at that time, Michelle. So imagine you setting up after supposedly getting like free, like here, right? The Europeans not going to let, he can't fight you hand to hand because he don't got enough people. So he said, well, okay, these motherfuckers are still stupid and they worship us. So how can I set up systems of oppression to still benefit us? But I do have to give these niggas something. I gotta give them cars, gotta give them stuff that they'll feel good about so they'll sell out the rest of their people. So since they have no conscience, Michelle, I'm gonna pick the ones I need to be the leaders. I'm gonna say, pick him. Okay, you wanna be a leader, don't you, Jomo? You poor and fucked up. Because you want to be rich and be the big man. See, Africa got the big man syndrome. I want to be the big man. So it's like childish. So they still got childlike minds. The youth have now changed. The youth in Africa have overturned all this shit in Kenya. They've overturned all this apple cart. It's amazing what they've done in 3 weeks, bringing all this wicked shit down to its knees. 60 years of this shit, of this big man morons being in charge in the theft. So what you see, they pick these people, put them in power, and all that money goes to Europe as they keep everybody impoverished. And so African people being, like I said, nice and kind of loving, it takes a long time for them to wake up and realize, they said, okay, just don't worry. And then you give them religion. So, as you see, Mobutu comes from poverty. Jomo Kenyatta came from, they all came from poverty. So it's easy when I'm first setting up my imperial systems, supposed to be leaving, I'm setting up corrupt systems to benefit me by putting in puppets all throughout Africa. So, and then if a real leader comes up, like a Lumumba, then I'm gonna have him shot in the head. He gotta get rid of him. Gotta go, because he's fucking with the real money. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's hard for African real leaders to ever break through. The ones that do, they always get assassinated. Mm-hmm. So this is what you see here now happening with Mobutu and Lumumba. Mobutu has a big man. He wants to be somebody. I want to be somebody, and I want to be rich. So they'll use his ass. Even instead of helping the whole people, he say, "Hey, moron, Congo's so wealthy. He's too stupid. All Congo people can be rich. Don't have to be just you. Everybody can be well off." But the white man said, "No, it's not. Well, we're gonna make you well off and your family. Fuck the rest of the other people." Go ahead, Joe.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about the pickup of these puppets, not what, because we're saying most of the Africans today are a little bit well off, not like way back after immediately independence. I fail to understand why is it that they were able to pick these people and how these people didn't have the knowledge of our resources, because we're talking about Africans being rich. We had gold, coffee, tea.
That was way before. Remember generation. That was years ago, Joby. I took you as a child when Europeans came in. They killed your great grandparents who wouldn't accept it. I took your grandparents, your great grandparents as a child, and taught them nothing. Then they taught you nothing. Then you nothing. Your grandparents, then your parents, and then you. So you don't know any of this. You don't know. You know how to refine. So that's what Zenobia is asking. Did they know? No, they didn't have the technical prowess. Remember, the Africans were kept stupid as a slave class in Africa. Just like America, they were kept as a slave class. So technically, they didn't want them to know how to mine the resources and what it was made for. Remember, Africans weren't even allowed to go in certain parts of Africa at the time when white people were on the ground in the Congo and Kenya. Some places in Kenya, Africans weren't allowed to go in the city. I don't know if Joby even knows his history. They weren't allowed in the part of the city where crackers was at. Get your ass out of here. They were only allowed to come in the motor lawn, to watch the babies, to be maids and shit. That was all Africa. So them getting free, they didn't have the technical skills to really even run a country, to run what they actually own. So they would go, so white people said, "Listen, you don't know how to run under that. Let us run it. We'll get a little part of it." And so you're going to do that, but because it's going to take you a while to educate your own people. You got to get your people up to stay. Your people are a bit uneducated. That you don't got the funds to educate them, right? That's why they start all this school fee shit back when they had school. So it's going to take 20 years if you got a real government to get your people educated enough to run the country, to run the mining and all the wealth. That's 20 years at least to educate a baby to an adult. 20 years of education, real. So they don't have that coming into independence. They don't have any of that. So imagine you got leaders that want to do good, but you got the puppets, the people all around them that just want wealth. They just want to be the big man in Africa. They want the wealth. They don't want to develop the country. They don't care about that. Care about, I'm going to get a big car. I'm going to get a big house. And also, you understand the colonization of a mind, the white love they have. white daddy is gonna give me money. I just gotta do that bidding. Like, oh, my white master is gonna love me. I'm gonna be favored in white people's eyes. So that's the mindset you got. So you imagine, so Africa couldn't be free then. It really couldn't. You just didn't have the mentality of enough people. It was too backward, too ignorant then. It was kept too ignorant for 90 years of miseducation. They didn't teach them nothing. The majority of the masses of Africans were kept in complete ignorance and poverty. So to say you're independent and you don't know shit, no, you're a child. It's like a child fucking with an adult. An adult can always manipulate a child. But what you see now the African has grown up in Kenya where it's adult against adult now. See, it's now leveled off. See, for so long it was adult against child. The African mind was a child. The African mind has now reached adulthood. And that is asking for its shit back. And this is the danger. No more children anymore. They're not, and that manifests itself first in Kenya. That they're not children, they're not mentally childlike anymore. See, this time you got them coming out of 90 years of colonial rule, and these people, they're adults, but they're children in the mind. They're childlike. So they're easy to control. They're easy to manipulate. So that's what you see happening. And so that starts what? All this corruption throughout all these African countries. You have children being guided by adults who are wicked. So you got children setting up systems. A child is what? If a child is less than mischief, he's going to set up systems of mischief to benefit him. Because a child doesn't have what? Accountability. So that's what you see in Ghana and Kenya and all these places. They were set up by childlike mental, the minds of childlike. So they set up mischievous death rings, criminal rings. That's why the tribalism never stopped, because a child stays with tribal shit. An adult knows, hey, tribalism doesn't work. Get rid of it. See, the Kenyan youth are no more adult than their parents and their grandparents. Their minds have now reached a certain level of maturity where you can't give them the tribal shit no more. They know instinctively, inherently it doesn't work. So they've grown up mentally now. So that's the problem. And the morons that run Africa haven't got the memo that your children have grown up mentally. Mentally, they're there now. So they can't be deceived. They don't got the minds of children. And that's how the Africans these puppets have been able to rule Africa for so long, because their people have had the minds of children. Easy to run on children, scared children. Now, no more. You're kind of fucked. Like I told you, Africa, this is the tipping point. Kenya is the tipping point. All of Africa will be free. This is the beginning of the end. Not the end of the beginning. This is the beginning of everything. A real independence for Africa, because the children, their minds are not children anymore. They're not just like adult children. Like Joby's daddy and her grandparents and her grandparents. They're adults, but they're children in the mind. They're childlike in the head. They're children. So that's gone. That's gone. So
yes. Speaking of my dad, I just saw my sister pop in here. I don't know if she's here listening. Shout out to you.
She popped in what, on TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh shit! See, that was an ancestor. Let me know Joey's sister in there. I'm hitting their dad in the head. So,
I don't know if she's here, but yeah.
Yeah, but so this is what you see happening now in Kenya, and it's going to reverberate throughout Africa. So the white man's got to find a way to stop it. And they must have known. They must have known that Kenya. I told they got spies everywhere in Africa. They must have known that Kenya was the one really waking up, because that's why they wanted to put the UN. Remember, the UN is moving from America from New York to Nairobi. So they must know they got their spies everywhere in the streets of Africa, especially Nairobi. So they must have heard the chattering, sitting on bus just listening to people. Then they get to hear that these niggas
on TikTok. Yeah, it could be possible, because that's when even when they were trying so hard to ban TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These niggas are waking up. So they probably, hey, we got to probably move the UN to Kenya. There's about to be some bullshit happening over here. So that's about to be some bullshit popping up over here. We got to get ahead of this shit before it gets rolling. So, yeah, shout out to Joby. Yeah, shout out to her sister. Her sister blocked her because Joby didn't give her no money. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you, Mehdi. Come on, Skiza. Shout out to you.
Can you imagine your sister block you because you ain't giving up money? What kind of craziness is that?
That's the relationship we've always had with her. Like, she's always getting mad over petty things. So I'm used to it. She's always just getting mad for no reason.
Who, your sister?
Yeah, that's the kind of relationship we've had growing up. Like, she'll just be mad at you even for petty reasons, you know. So
You can do. Some people got crazy sisters. I got a crazy sister I ain't talked to in years. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know if she asked for Joby that much. I don't know if she asked Joby that much money. Jibba jabba.
Nope, not that much.
I don't think she went crazy with that much money.
It was just around $10 there. So I couldn't
$10.
tell. I'm like, nah, I got too many things to do, bro.
Damn, Joby put a Robinson on her.
You wanna dress, I wanna pay school fees and bills, goddamn.
Yeah, it sounds spoiled. They are. It's that spoiled mindset. If somebody else they feel like they can all leech off of her. So Joby has all family members coming to. It's crazy. Joby's story is crazy. Wherever Joby goes, somebody's asking her for money. Family members, bills. It's crazy. Shout out to
was
Joby.
responsible for the army. The army took on an important role in the Congo as it was tasked with preventing the cessation of the mineral-rich provinces of Katanga and Kasai.
They were trying to break it
But
apart.
Fish Lumu-
They were rich. So some Europeans are trying to break up the Congo again, being back then because of that mineral part that was rich. So they're trying to stop it from breaking up. Go ahead.
was assassinated in 1961, and his successors faced difficulties governing the Congo. In 1965, a constitutional crisis developed in which the Prime Minister Moise Tshombe and the President Joseph Kasavubu wrestled for power. In the midst of this deadlock, Mobutu launched a successful coup d'etat.
Of course.
After taking power, he quickly moved to ban political parties, having blamed politicians
So
for the
took power.
Congo's.
He banned all the parties. I'm the head nigga in charge. I'm the head nigga. All these parties are banned.
Throughout all of this, Mobutu was a master manipulator, violent when necessary, yet also able to charm his enemies into eventually becoming his allies. Mobutu gradually established a dictatorial regime after eliminating many of his allies and enemies among the politicians and the military. The dictator acted as a king and sole owner of the Congo. In the early 1970s, he intensified his authenticity campaign in which the name of the Congo was changed to Zaire and the names of cities were changed to their supposedly original African names. At the same time, he shackled regional administrators and vested so much power on the presidency that he became the sole legislator. Above all, Mobutu's means of control was personal, down to the finest detail. Everything went through him. Because he was fearful of military coups, he purged the army of competent officers, switched money from effective to inexperienced brigades, and constantly...
Idi Amin was talking about overthrowing his ass too. See him coming down, meet.
Yeah.
Idi Amin.
Like, yeah, also like, they friends with Idi Amin. Idi Amin was doing right by Uganda.
Over. You got to go meet Idi Amin. Idi Amin had a military, and he was talking about overthrowing his ass. So you got to go speak talk him, Joby. Idi Amin, we're not enemies. We're brothers of Africa. So, all that shit, Joby.
I don't know. I keep on switching this shit. Let me go back.
disrupted the military command structure. This is all while some of the troops were often left unpaid, resorting, like every other state employee, to theft. Mobutu's army was essentially made up mostly of individuals from one region, and it had no capacity to fight any rebels. This would later prove to be detrimental for the dictator.
Yeah, they overthrew his ass because he
Early
didn't have
on, Mobutu did much to enrich himself and members.
Military, he didn't trust nobody, so he put his people around his region as the military because he's a moron. These idiots And they didn't. His military, the white man kept him in power. Okay, they kept this idiot in power. His military, so just like Museveni's military is not real. The white man keeps his ass in power. Okay, that's what happens. Like Kagame, the white man keeps them in power. Go ahead, Joby.
Of his inner circle. His regime was the epitome of kleptocratic rule and remains one of his lasting legacies to this very day. Greed sustained Mobutu. His bottomless funds allowed him to bribe the incorruptible, and it was his command over cash flow within the country rather than the military apparatus which kept him in power for so many years. The demand for base metals such as cobalt and copper, of which the Congo is well endowed, was spurred by the Vietnam War, and this boosted the Congolese economy between 1968 and 1974. The vast revenues from these resources should have enabled the government to move millions of Congolese out of poverty, but were instead used by Mobutu.
All about the power. Look at Idi Amin. Can move everybody out of power. But no, I got to buy my lavish stuff and pay the white man off and everything else. And I never for the people. You know, this Congolese story is Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Ghana, Tanzania. It's the same fucking copy and paste shit. Nigeria, same shit. Go ahead.
Is it Jibajaba asking why do African leaders wear a goofy hat? Is it a requirement?
Yeah, goofy hat. But no, it's the big man syndrome, Jib. Everybody sees them as morons, but they know that people are kept by, oh, look at the big man, he's my village. Everybody else, sees it as goofy and stupid. Exactly. He looks like an idiot with that. Look at stand next to Idi Amin, Donna, right? Like with that goofy hat on.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably meet with Idi Amin, brother. We are brothers in the struggle. We must stick together, not fight one another.
I can do an accent to see.
To bribe political allies in the country and abroad, and to strengthen the hold of his party over the country. In November 1973, in a drive to create a national bourgeoisie, which in his own words would spur Zaire's development, Mobutu confiscated all small and medium-sized enterprises and handed them over to his cronies. This was indeed a turning point in the
gave to the cronies. That's how corrupt this cracker this nobody bastard. Just stole people's businesses and gave them his people. Here, take this shit right here. Damn.
History. The beneficiaries of this policy by Mobutu had no experience nor any intention of running businesses and merely siphoned the businesses' available cash and let them rot. By 1974, most of the businesses had folded, and this started a downturn in the national economy from which the country never recovered. All of this was exacerbated by the rapid fall of commodity prices, which brought most of the Congo's revenue. As a result, hundreds of thousands of workers lost their jobs, and this raised the levels of unemployment in the country. The government lost revenue and thus the means to maintain infrastructure, which quickly deteriorated. The economic deterioration of Zaire was such that civil servants struggling to survive on the measly salaries turned to extortion, contributing further to a system of corruption that became deeply entrenched in Zaire. Mobutu's policy of nationalizing industries and handing out lucrative contracts to his allies proved catastrophic, so in 1976, Zaire accepted its first structural adjustment package. But as one industry after another crumbled and the regime defaulted on debts incurred by massive loans, Mobutu could perhaps sense an end in sight. The economic erosion in Zaire fueled the growth of a credible opposition in the early 1980s, which saw the beginning of a half-hearted transition into multi-party politics as a way by Mobutu to quell foreign and domestic pressure. But I'll touch on this a little bit later. Despite his disregard for democracy and proven human rights abuses, Mobutu enjoyed widespread support from the international community, particularly the United States, France, and Belgium. Mobutu served as a bulwark against communism in the region, supporting UNITA rebels who were fighting against the communist MPLA regime in Angola. In fact, Zaire acted as a conduit for United States military aid to the UNITA guerrillas, which allowed Mobutu to act as a broker between UNITA and the Angolan government. Additionally, Mobutu's government's efforts to take on political and security roles in a region that was regarded as chronically unstable served as a justification for United States policymakers to support him. These efforts by Mobutu's government included Zaire's military interventions in the Central African Republic in 1979, in Burundi in 1972, and in Chad between 1981 and 1983. It is also worth mentioning that the soldiers that helped
He's their puppet going to Chad, going to Burundi.
Everywhere.
What you say, Joby?
That is Ruto right now. Like, right now, he can't even travel.
Mobutu crushed rebellions in 1977 and 1978
The jumpsuit, Mzales. It's a jumpsuit.
were Moroccan, French, and Belgian. The fact that Zaire produced more than 70% of the world's cobalt may have had a lot to do with this.
The wealth, 70% of the world's cobalt.
Following the end of the Cold War, Zaire lost both its strategic importance and the crucial international assistance that went with it. The old dictator Mobutu had outlived his usefulness to his former masters as a bulwark against communism in the region.
These people understand you lose when white people get done with you. When they lose, you lose your interest in them. They don't give a fuck. You believe, see these more believe, oh, they my friend. White people will never see you as their friend. You're their puppet. And when they don't need you no more, they're gonna get rid of your ass. They don't like you, nigga. They laugh in your face when you're in their presence. This moron smiling, think we like his usefulness is up, we're gonna get rid of his ass. We're gonna probably overthrow his ass too, stupid ass. We're gonna get rid of you, moron. Once your usefulness is up, we're getting rid of you. Putting our new puppet. Go ahead, Joey.
Meanwhile, on the political front, in Zaire, discontent was mounting not only among the masses, but also among the elites who had benefited from the regime. In 1980, in an unprecedented move, a group of about 13 members of parliament, led by Etienne Tshisekedi, wrote a letter to Mobutu denouncing the regime's mismanagement and the capture of the state by a clique and demanding political reforms. The reaction of the regime's repressive machine was swift and brutal. The members of parliament were all arrested and tortured, but this did not deter them. In 1982, in a show of exceptional courage and defiance of the law establishing a one-party state in Zaire, the MPs created a party, the Union for Democracy and Social Progress. Their struggle, combined with pressure from the regime's allies, forced Mobutu to accept multi-party democracy in April of 1990. The incumbent Secretary General of the Economic Community of Central African States was appointed head of a restructured transitional government that was installed on 4 May of that year, 1990. Over the next year, Zaire's constitution was revised.
They got some church motherfucker always there. See that Catholic motherfucker who's evil as shit? Always got some church motherfucker in there. Make sure these niggas don't get free now. We gotta keep putting that goofy shit in their heads.
The formation of trade unions and at least 2 additional political parties. However, the euphoria generated by the prospect of a new political social order quickly evaporated as a result of Mobutu's continuing repression of opposition political activity. In particular, Mobutu's announcement that a limited multi-party system would not come into effect for at least 2 years led.
70 smarter than him. 70 learned all this shit. One party brought this shit. But Masebi's a little more smarter than this moron. Go ahead. He knows
the confrontation.
They want to throw his ass now. They want his ass out of there. But he's very strategic with this retarded nigga.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to presenter Vendi. Kindly DM us on our TikTok.
The University of Lubumbashi on May 11, 1990.
They want an interview with him?
It was reported that security forces killed more than 50 student demonstrators. Eventually, Mobutu was persuaded by opposition pressure to announce on December 31 both presidential and legislative elections. They were scheduled to be held in 1991, as was a referendum on another new constitution. At the end of September 1991, under pressure from the opposition, Mobutu not only appointed as Prime Minister Etienne Tshisekedi, but he also agreed to the formation of an opposition-dominated cabinet and diminished presidential powers. In addition, a transitional constitution was adopted, and it reinstalled the separation of powers and strengthened human and civil rights. In 1992, a sovereign national conference was convened to decide which form the new multi-party system would take. But rather than furthering the SNC's work, Mobutu successfully sowed division among the delegates and managed to stay in power. As you can probably imagine, Mobutu and his entourage did not want to relinquish power and lose all the privileges that they enjoyed. And so they did their very best to disrupt the run.
Still and made them rich. Exactly. These corrupt puppets don't want to relinquish the power and the money they got from nothing, from being in charge. Of course not. They don't want to ever relinquish the shit. It's like Rudo. Go ahead, Joby.
Of the new government and then used military force to remove it from power. In fact, President Mobutu Sese Seko went on to dismiss Prime Minister Etienne Tshisekedi and his government illegally. Mobutu still retained the loyalty of the security forces, and he managed to remain in power by a complex strategy that involved seemingly to agree to reforms but never implementing them. Repression of the opposition, instigation of mutinies in the armed forces, and the fueling of ethnic grievances, as well as the cooptation of prominent opposition leaders. Amid the ensuing economic and political crisis of 1991, Mobutu's army turned on the cities, taking by violence the goods left unstolen after the leader's years of taking by stealth. Following this looting by the soldiers, the civilians followed suit. Shops, offices, and factories were trashed, and millions of dollars were stolen. This exercise was repeated in some towns in 1993. And it is alleged that on both occasions, Mobutu had encouraged the rampage by the army.
Of course, understand.
By 1993,
with the goons, when they know they're about to get fucked overturned, he allowed his damn military to go rob and steal from the people. Same thing happened in Kenya with these goons. Same shit, copy and paste. These morons never learn. But the thing with difference between Zaire and Kenya, the youth know too much. They're not as backward as Zaire was back then, the people.
Such was the conflict between pro- and anti-Mobutu forces that there was a duplication of political institutions in Zaire. There were two governments, two parliaments, and two currencies. This political stalemate was finally overcome at the end of the year when the two legislators merged into the Transitional High Council of the Republic, the HCR. But unlike the previous national conference, pro-Mobutu forces dominated the HCR. Mobutu Sese Seko, the quintessential Machiavellian operator, cleverly played the opposition parties against each other to maintain his grip on power. 7 prime ministers came and went during what became a 7-year transition, and many of the opposition parties were actually pro-Mobutu fronts. In the confusion, he cast himself as the only unifying political force in Zaire. But with the fall of the Cold War, the United States lost tolerance.
Democracies in the world. See, he's using Machiavellian tactics. No such thing as democracy. See, they call him Machiavellian. So you always read Machiavelli's book, The Prince. How he create these fake democracies that actually rule from behind the scenes. When people think, oh, democracy isn't working, they're not doing it, get mad at the people, the parliamentary or the Congress. They don't run shit. It's motherfucker behind the scenes that run everything. As Machiavelli told you, let the people be stupid and get mad about my elected official isn't working. He was never meant to work for you. It's Machiavellian.
For Mobutu's resistance to democracy, and along with other Western countries, they cut off aid. In June of 1994, Zaire was suspended from the IMF and its collapse deepened. When the politicians were arguing in Kinshasa, trouble was mounting on the eastern fringes of the country. In fact, from April 1994, because of the genocide in Rwanda and the war that ensued, close to 1 million Rwandese refugees crossed the border into the eastern Zairian provinces of North and South Kivu.
About to overthrow his ass by using Kagame and Museveni. This led to his downfall. So they really abandoned his stupid ass. For so many years he was their puppet. They were forming another group in the east, in Uganda and Rwanda, to overthrow his stupid ass. Go ahead, Joe.
It's just funny how these people play these games, you know. You're done with this one, now you go to the next one. Hey,
At first, Mobutu sought to use the arrival of Rwandan Hutu and Tutsi refugees in his country to ingratiate himself once more to the international community, not only as a Cold War ally, but also as a humanitarian. Yet his strategy collapsed in the face of Rwandan opposition to his hosting of these refugees on Zaire's eastern border. This refugee crisis was the ultimate cause.
Because the people that back him always switched to their new puppets, Kagame and them. He thought it was going to work. I'm going to try to deal with moron. They've already decided they're going to get rid of you, stupid. You two, you've been there 40 years. People don't like you. It's turmoil. They can't keep doing business with your ass, so they're going to throw you under the bus. Go ahead, Joe.
Of his fall. Some of the refugees that had crossed over into Zaire fomented local ethnic strife, joining with local Hutus to drive Tutsis out of eastern Zaire and also using the refugee camps as bases to attack Rwanda. Now, Mobutu had miscalculated and underestimated the drive for survival of Rwanda's new leaders. In October 1996, Rwanda and Uganda invaded eastern Zaire. They recruited Congolese proxies.
These two motherfucking puppets invaded because the cracker had trained both these two morons right here. These two idiots here. They're still in power today. These two fucking puppet ass niggas here. So all they did was throw Mobutu over and bring in the other two new puppets to try to overthrow the rest of the Congo for them again. So they get rid of their old puppet, bringing these two corny ass niggas, Years ago, they were younger than this. Years ago, they old now. They would look old. They were young. Bring these two corny niggas in, have them invade the Congo, and keep the stealing going. Okay? Get rid of one dumb puppet, bring some other goofy nigga puppets in. Go ahead, Joe.
Hello, Joe Mosquito.
Who acted as rebels and as a front for this invasion. The leaders in these two countries used Mobutu's longtime opponent, Laurent Désiré Kabila, to front a movement called the Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo. These forces would eventually dethrone Mobutu. A former Lumumbist and Marxist considered unpromising revolutionary material by Che Guevara, Laurent Kabila's 30 years in the political wilderness made him a little-known figure, but one who, unlike more prominent leaders of the Zairean opposition, was in no way compromised by association with Mobutu or acceptance of political reward from him. On 24 October 1996, Kabila's campaign began. At first, the French, one of Mobutu's major allies, wanted to step in to rescue him. However, the Americans blocked the idea, saying that foreign forces should stay out of Zaire. Initially, Zaireans reckoned that Laurent Désiré Kabila was heading an invasion of Tutsis from Rwanda, and so they looked to their leader, Mobutu, to drive him back. When Mobutu returned from France, where he was getting treatment, in December of 1996, he was cheered by the masses. At this point, it looked as if Mobutu would outwit his enemies and work on a strategy to fully retain power. In this regard, he changed the army command. But unfortunately, all of this was to no avail. His troops kept on losing against Kabila's forces. This time around, it was clear for all to see that the end was near. Town after town fell to Kabila's rebellion. On 19 April, the rebel forces captured Lubumbashi, and it was only a matter of time until Kinshasa, the capital, fell. Mobutu's demoralized and ill-equipped army hardly fought the invaders. Mobutu had lost control of the situation. Ailing and weak, he was confronted with the fact that he could not muster up his divided and unpaid army to mount a credible defense against
He paid his army, but they're going to fight getting paid, you moron. It stole so much. People going to die, they ain't get paid, you idiot. See, that's how the sheer idiocy of this moron here. That he thought that people were going to go fight and die and never got paid money. Fight for this corrupt bastard. This is sheer, because he's, like, what you call it. This idiot was in power for 40 years. He was always an idiot. Stealing, robbing, killing. So, idiot. I'm a son. They're going to fight for me. You ain't paying them. I'm going to fight. I'm going to die for you. I ain't got paid. What is he talking about?
Final stages of the split, Kabila's troops were joined by the Angolan army, which seized the opportunity to flush out Angolan rebels who were using Zaire as their base. The bulk of the forces loyal to him were concentrated in and around Kinshasa. These included some 3,000 soldiers of the Division Special Presidential, the DSP, as well as several thousand UNITA soldiers, along with former members of the Rwandan army and the Hutu militia. This was the setting for the intense diplomatic efforts that were undertaken by special American envoys along with South African President Nelson Mandela and his Vice President Thabo Mbeki.
I told you, I even see this video. I told you all the players what was going to happen. Angola went down to see Nelson Mandela's goofy ass, and also they didn't bring Mugabe in this. Also Mugabe in Zimbabwe. So listen there, we're gonna get rid of fucking Siseko ass, but we're not gonna let Kagame and fucking stupid ass fucking puppet Museveni get control of the Congo. We're not gonna allow that. That's not gonna happen because those are puppets. They just want the country back for the European. We're not gonna allow that bullshit at all. So he said, so we're just letting you know, we're getting you fair warning that, we're not going to allow these other puppet niggas from Rwanda and Uganda to take control of the Congo. We're not going to allow it. Go ahead, Joe.
In attempting to set up a meeting for Mobutu Sese Seko and Laurent Kabila to negotiate. Under pressure, Mobutu and Kabila met for the first time aboard the SAS Otanika on 4 May 1997 off the coast of Pointe-Noire in the Republic of the Congo. These negotiations were presided over by Nelson Mandela himself. However, nothing of consequence came out of this meeting. A second meeting that was set for 14 May had to be cancelled when Mobutu was left waiting in vain for Laurent Kabila's arrival. The only reason for the diplomatic efforts was to convince Mobutu to use power little by little in order to avoid bloodshed, and so that Laurent Kabila's forces could enter Kinshasa without fighting. On May 13, the government declared a curfew from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. while the opposition parties announced a general strike for May 15 and May 16, calling upon the citizens to stay home to avoid a bloodbath. On Thursday, May 15, three top generals, General Likulia, General Mahele, and General Nzimbi, respectively, Prime Minister, Minister of Defense, and head of Mobutu's DSP,
Africa called them generals. These motherfuckers wouldn't be privates in any real army. They're not generals. Africa's armies are jokes. Call these people generals is crazy talk. Why you still got slavery in Mauritania right now? Call these morons generals is crazy talk. There are no generals in Africa. Go ahead, Joby.
Met 3 times with Mobutu to inform him that they could not defend Kinshasa and to encourage him to relinquish power. On Friday, May 16, Mobutu Sese Seko abandoned power and took refuge in his palace at Badolite while still holding on to his title of head of state. On Saturday, May 17, Kabila's AFDL soldiers entered Kinshasa without fighting. They were warmly welcomed by a population happy to finally rid itself of the reign of terror which had left it weak and drained.
The last one, Joe, showing, the people loved him. Of course they didn't love his ass. Why people was cheering, yay, shit, his ass is gone, thank God. But the other democracy, the other thing that Joe was showing, saying, the people loved him, he was charismatic. Like, what? What are you talking about? You insane? You're crazy.
On the morning of the same day, Laurent Desire Kabila proclaimed himself President of the Republic and took complete authority over the transition. Following his departure from Kinshasa on May 16, Mobutu Sese Seko did not even have the time to catch his breath at his palace in Badolite. On Sunday, May 18, he was forced to flee in haste to Lomé, the capital of Togo, when AFDL forces threatened to take over the region's airport. From Lomé in Togo, where his friend Nassimbe Eyadema found his presence to be an embarrassment, Mobutu later fled to Rabat, Morocco, where he died of prostate cancer on 7 September 1997.
I must say, didn't he end up in Morocco? Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I must say, I didn't know about Togo. I knew he ended up in Morocco. So understand, yeah. So understand, family, when you're dealing with, you guys ask all these questions. Let me see. Now, I don't know who named the African Republic, Ratty. I don't know who named it that dumb name, the Central African Republic. That's not even a name. The Central African Republic. What is that? What kind of name is that? I don't understand that name.
I also never Central African Republic. I'm like,
Yeah. What do I call myself? A Central African?
I mean, we know DRC is the center of Africa, if I'm not wrong, but still Central
So
African Republic.
Africans are not worthy here because they are against their own people. Yeah, and they're never really treated as real generals because white man's always scared you get a real military mind in there, he'll start overthrowing their ass. So all these morons in Africa call themselves generals. You're like, fuck out of here. That's why they can't actually help no African people. You got open slavery in Libya, Mauritania. Where these generals at? These are crimes against your African people. You ever see them do nothing? No. Shit, Mauritania especially was recently African empire. That's got to be taken back. What? Open slavery on your next door to Senegal? You ain't doing nothing about it? Tell me you know goddamn general. You Captain Crunch.
Before we get closer to winding up, let me share the video you shared with me on WhatsApp. You put me to play.
Back on, guys, tonight at 9 o'clock. We're going to talk about American stuff now. We're going to talk about the elections, Joe Biden retarded, but up at this in this debate they just had, we're going to talk about that Mexican lady. We going to do that last week. Venezuelan telling black people to leave the country since we want reparations. Told these people get here 2 days ago and try to tell us to leave the country. Motherfucker, you just got 2 days ago. Who you talking to? Shut your goddamn mouth.
I'll send you a video. You'll see if it's gonna relate with your topic. You listen, then let me know, or if you'll share.
Africa. This is East Africa.
I'll send you a video regarding what you mentioned in the Biden elections and everything. Let's see.
This is South Africa. This is West Africa. This is the middle of Africa, Congo. All of these countries are rich. None lacks resources. We are rich. The only reason why we are poor is because we have sovereign people who are here, and you can see their flags. You can see Britain, you can see France, you know America. We know what it is that you're doing, and the companies that are selling us out, we also know their names. Everyone, we know you. We are not ignorant of what is going on. All we need is Africa to be sovereign. We've been under colonial power since time immemorial. We need to be free, and we are freeing not just Kenya, we are freeing the entire Africa. And once we do this, we shall also achieve this for the entire globe. Ask yourself a very specific question. What is the price of a cup of coffee in America? What is the price of a cup of coffee in Europe? How much do they get it from here? How much do they get it from here? A price of cup of coffee is $3. How much does a farmer get here? Does a farmer even get 1,000? They don't get even 1,000. Yet you have coffee that is being sold for one cup of coffee, 300 shillings. That's $300, more than 300 shillings. That is here with us, that is being sold for free. We want our resources. We want to be sovereign. We have been under colonial power for too long.
Think about your resources, Africans.
Are you together? We
That's
need to be free. We are not
people that control your resources made them wealthy and made you poor. That's what this wicked game is about. Stealing of your wealth. That's why the puppets are there. Why they put puppets there. So like I said, there's a change happening. It's scary for the white man and the puppets because it's never going to go back the same. So that's where we're at, guys.
It's the wake up.
It's the wake up call. So let Joey wrap it on up. We'll be back on tonight, family, at 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern. We got to talk about Joe Biden. Is Joe Biden going to drop out? Does it matter? Because at the end of the day, the Jays control both of them. You see, when they were doing that debate, you see they both want to do the same wicked policies of genocide in Gaza. So where's the difference? There's no difference between either one of them. Nothing for black people. And of course, you got your handkerchief head Negroes trying to scare you. We got to vote for Biden. Why? You know, let me show something real quick before Joe, we get out of here. Let me show something real quick. Yeah, exactly. Africa had nothing. The devil would not be there because they are literally the devil. They are literally the devil. What you sending me, Joby? What's this?
The video I told you, you'll watch. If you'll share maybe on the show as you talk about Biden, then that's part of the conversation.
Oh, was that the one? You gonna play it now? Or
No. I'm saying if you're gonna do your show, maybe if you get time to listen before you do your show.
Okay, let me see. Let's see something. Let's see. Let's see. Now let me show you this. Now I want you guys to see it because they always think you're stupid. Remember this? Now, let me share my screen before we leave. Now remember, Kamala Harris is given to you as a black woman, but she never claimed to be black until she was running. So she always claimed to be this. Let me know when you guys see my screen.
Yeah.
Now, Kamala Harris makes history as the first Asian American vice president elected. East Indian, Asian. How did an Asian woman now claim to be black? Okay. Another bearer falls. The daughter of Indian and Jamaican. Remember, her daddy's not a black Jamaican. He said he's white. Mostly white, he said. So the first bearer fall, another bearer falls, the daughter of an Indian, not an African, not a black American, Indian and Jamaican immigrants, is poised to be the nation's most powerful South Asian official. South Asian. So how does a East Indian woman claim now to be a whole African?
The Lulu.
Uh-huh.
The Lulu.
Tell me. Because remember when she got elected, she always talked about she was an Asian. I'm an Asian. I'm East Indian, like her mama, East Indian. Her mama's an East Indian, like the motherfuckers in Kenya. She's an East Indian, right? But now when she's got black people. Oh, she's the first black woman. Where's this? This woman don't look black to me. What black is this woman got?
Even if I was from the deepest root of the village, this is nothing to do with black here. Nothing.
And Jamaican, and her daddy's not a Jamaican African. Her dad said he's a Jamaican white man. Okay? Her dad said he's a white man, not an African. He said his parents were part of the slave owners, not the enslaved Jamaicans.
Zenobia said she's a colonizer.
What'd you say, Joby?
Because Zenobia says she's a colonizer.
Yeah, that's what they do. So make it out. So they always claim to be you. It's colonizer. Exactly. You have black women and shit crying about, oh, Kamala Harris, she's a black woman. She never became a black woman until after she won the election and told you morons she's a black woman. She's East Indian and looks like an East Indian. She don't look like Joby to me. She don't like no African woman to me. Maybe I'm crazy. But they play in your face. Play right in your face. Oh, she's the first black American vice president. What? She claimed to be an Asian. When she was, she claimed to be an Asian. Now, now she's a black woman. Now she's the first black American woman. All the way in Ghana and Kenya. Remember she went to Zambia and Kenya and all. I'm the first black person, vice president woman in America. My dad was here in Zambia years ago. My dad was in Zambia and Kenya. Yeah, as an Indian. Your grandfather was there. She said her grandfather. Yeah, your grandfather was in Kenya and Zambia as an Indian, not an African. As an Indian. Crazy as cat shit. My daddy was in Zambia years ago in Kenya working, blah, 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 before we migrated to Canada. And because the mama and them had her in Canada. She ain't American. They had her ass in Canada. No. Her mama and them, I think they had her in America where they migrated from Canada down to America. That's right, when they had her. But her granddad and them were in Africa. They were the Indians. They were the racist Indians in Kenya and in Zambia. He tries to say, my attachment to Africa goes deep. What? You wasn't the African in no Zambia and Kenya? You was the Indian. What are you talking about? You insane? They play red in your face. What did we say, Joby?
Show up to white people, man. All of them. Indians, Asians, whatever. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, they play red in your face. I was thinking to Africa because my grandfather was in Kenya and Zambia as an Indian, not an African. As an Indian.
Crazy.
Trying to sound crazy as cat shit. Says she looks black. She looks black to me, but she probably doesn't feel it. She looks black to you.
No, she's joking. She's joking.
You better get my glasses, goddammit. I have bad sight, Michelle. Your sight is worse than mine. She looks black to you. Blackness you looking at. Black probably doesn't feel it. She's Indian. How she look black to you and all people are Indian? I just read you her family lineage. Her daddy's a white Jamaican. Her mama's an East Indian. How she look black?
Michelle is joking.
I don't think Michelle don't be joking. I think Michelle believe that crazy shit. Michelle ain't joking. She ain't laughing. She looks black to me, but probably doesn't feel that way.
I don't know. I am an echo on my end to you. I don't know.
I don't know. I got something else open. I don't got nothing. Let me see. I don't got nothing open.
Anyway, family, we're gonna call it a night and a week.
I'll be back on tonight. I'll be back on tonight, guys, at 9:00 Eastern, guys. 9:00 Eastern. Mark your calendar. We're gonna talk about the fake black woman that Michelle says is black, and Joe Biden being mentally disabled. What's going on? Hey, am I shitting on myself again? They playing in your face with these people.
It's insane. Shout out to Joe Biden. But much love, family. Have an amazing
my family look like her.
Okay.
You got my glasses right here. They're free. You got my glasses, Michelle. That's not a black woman, okay? I just gave you her lineage. Her mama's she came out of an East Indian coochie. Okay? Not a black woman. She came out of an East Indian coochie. Okay? That's a fact. That's not my opinion. She's not black.
Anyway, family, much love. Sister Michelle, come back later and you guys continue this conversation.
Her daddy wasn't from Louisiana. Her daddy's from Jamaica.
And continue with this.
Her daddy wasn't from Louisiana. Her daddy's from Jamaica. I just showed you that. He said he's part of the white slave owners of Jamaica. They came to America to study. So they met each other. They met in San Francisco, but he's not from Louisiana. Her daddy's from Jamaica. I just showed you that. What are you talking about? Her daddy's from Jamaica and lives in Jamaica. Oh, your dad. Oh, okay. Okay, but you're talking about Creole people. I get you. You're talking about the mixture between blacks and French. You're talking about Creoles, right? You're talking about Louisiana Creole folk, right? Okay, they can look a little bit like that. You're talking about black and white mixed. You're talking about Creole. So is your daddy a Creole? Is your daddy Louisiana Creole? Your dad look like that? Your dad look like a half cracker?
Much love, family. See you guys on Monday. She won't answer.
Is your dad Louisiana Creole?
She might or not. But anyway, family, much love. See you guys on Monday. Have a beautiful weekend. And take care. Be safe. Rest if you can. And thank you so much for keeping up with the Blackout Fire Network. Media of the 21st century.
See, Zenobia, that's a black woman right there. You see your face, Michelle? That's a black woman. I know you're a black woman. You don't look like an Indian. Okay? Zenobia doesn't like an Indian. She like an African woman. So if you're gonna tell me the first African woman looked like a goddamn African woman, that shit. Don't tell me you. Don't try to put a wool over my eye. Yeah, he said, my dad never claimed Creole, but his dad could pass for white. Yeah, he's a Creole. Okay, your dad was Creole. I thought so. Yeah, so your dad could pass for white. He's a Creole. Okay, I thought so. You speak any Creole, Michelle?
Kid, pull your questions during your show.
I know. You don't have to stop. Keep trying to have to stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nishdar knows how to speak that Creole shit either. Bamba ne, bamba nu, shanjavu.
Peace, family. See you guys on Monday.
Guys?
Have a beautiful weekend, and thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to everyone who has been here with us. Good night to you too, John Mosquito, Sister Sinovia, Sister Michelle, Jason, Rati, to everyone who has been here, and I might not have mentioned. Asanteni Sana for being here with.
Who's on TikTok? John Mosquito stayed on TikTok, didn't he?
John Mosquito, user 81. Thank you so much, Manze. Brother, sister, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see you there. Catching up with the shows from the beginning to the end. I appreciate you so much.
Shout out to Joby's no good sister.
Yeah, I saw earlier Jiba Jaba was saying that she must be a KFC eater and a ride in Uber. Man, I left her when she was still young, so I have no clue who she has turned out to be. I can't tell that if she's, if she got a class of her own, if she.
Is she like 19 or 20 now?
Yeah, she turned 19. She's turning 20.
Yeah, turned 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Turned 20 out there with. She still got the hijab on. Yeah, on TikTok.
I have no clue. I am surprised even I didn't know she has a phone, man. We don't talk. I'm like, okay.
You showed me a video. She had a phone. She's doing making goofy TikTok videos.
It's been a while though. I've not seen her online.
She had that hijab on, like.
But she blocked me, so I can't tell if she's online either.
Yeah, I know her name. She was doing some goofy dance, like.
And I'm never on TikTok, so I can't know. Much love, family. Have a beautiful one. See
Damn, she got the whole sweaty shit. 9 o'clock, Jibba. 9 o'clock tonight, 9 p.m. 9 p.m., guys, 9 p.m. She danced around with that sweaty hijab on.